Professor Bhim Singh Dahiya is a world-renowned professor who is admired by the students as well as adored and loved throughout in India as well as in abroad. I would like to tell you all that he has authored a book called A New History of English Literature. It is the book where he wrote about women writers of the age. Dear friends, let's take advantages from his experiences and let's try to grab maximum knowledge on the topic, the modernist movement. Hello sir, welcome to the EduSec lecture.
Thank you. Well, in this lecture we will be talking about the modernist movement, how the movement came about. It is important to understand because movements generally are launched by a number of people together. It can't be just one man's job. But here, for the first time, we do not have a collaborative effort on the part of a group of people. We have individuals, and those individuals have their own little movements like imagism, surrealism, vorticism, etc., etc. There was no such movement called movement. All these little movements put together, all these individual efforts gave the name modernist movement. Now, two things arise here. One, why modernist movement has stayed as a phase of history. Because modernism before 20th century was another name for contemporary. Every age was modern when it was in vogue. Like Victorianism was, Romanticism was, Augustinism was, Renaissance was, medievalism, all these ages in their own times were called modern or contemporary. But when the next stage comes, that becomes modern or contemporary. It is for the first time in the 20th century that modernism found a location, a definite place in the historical development, which means before this movement or a set of movements, the modern was not there. So, in the beginning of the 20th century, and the force that dismembered it or disintegrated it or destroyed it was the First World War. As Willa Cather, one of the women writers, she made a remark about World War I. She says that the world fell into two parts after the war, the world before and the world after. So that continuity was broken, and obviously when you are cut off from your past, from history, from tradition, then lostness follows. Where do you go? You are lost in wilderness. It was this kind of feeling because there was nothing left to fall back upon. So World War I was also a culmination of certain happenings and certain ideas. It didn't come out of nothing. It didn't come out of nowhere all of a sudden. No. For many years, for many decades, there were ideas in the air, ideas that were having their own influence and changing the world. Then there were events that changed the world, particularly in these 50 years of the modernist period, 5 to 1945, which means end of World War II. In between, many things have happened. 2 world wars have happened which were never before. Wars were local before that. It may be a war in America, war in England or France or Germany, or India. But there was never a world war before in which all the continents were involved. America, Europe, Africa, Asia, all these continents were involved for the first time. War all over. That is why it came to be called the World War. Started in 1914, ended in 1918. So that was one great event of history which changed the world. Then there were men of ideas who were changing in their own ways different sectors of our life, different, sides of our philosophy, our outlook, our ideas. The beginning was made in the 19th century itself by the German philosopher Nietzsche, Nietzsche, Nietzsche. Nietzsche gave a philosophy called Death of God. So his philosophy of death of God was that in the times before, ancient times, medieval times, all these 20 centuries, 2000 years, 2 millennium, there was a sort of continuity. It was God's world. Even the Bible said God created Adam and Eve, and then the human race came. So it was a world which was ruled by God somewhere, overlooking, supervising, and punishing, like Adam and Eve. They ate the forbidden fruit and got the punishment for it. But Nietzsche says, in the 20th century now, there is no God. God is dead. And therefore, man is in wilderness. There is no guiding hand